So today I'm going to show you a little bit about our website called SpellJourney. SpellJourney was basically born out of the fact that I was working in secondary schools with learners with special education needs, and loads of us teachers, having come from secondary trained backgrounds, didn't really understand how to teach our older learners, so 11 to 18, how to spell across a curriculum, because so many of them really struggled with their spelling. And so getting a unified approach in, we were really lucky to have some excellent speech and language therapists who led on phonological awareness. We decided to build this site because we felt that even though we now knew what phonological awareness was, if you were trying to run an intervention in your class or with your learners, there wasn't really much in the way of a curriculum like there is for Read Write Inc. for primary schools. And we did try Read Write Inc., but it just didn't work well with our students. So we found that our students preferred this type of approach. So let's jump in and I'll show you. So SpellJourney has a curriculum guide which you can follow. I recommend following it because even if your learners know some of the phases already and some of the patterns already, learners who struggle with spelling do tend to have spiky profiles. So it's best to just start from phase 1 and work your way all the way through phase 6. Now on the site you can read more about what each phase entails, but we've set it up in an evidence-based way that makes most sense for teaching spelling to older learners. And if you're not sure, if you're a parent, teacher, TA who's not even sure how you would structure a phonics lesson or session, come and look at the implementation guide and get some tips for how to sort of lay things out and plan. But the main part of the website is this area here where you can create a booklet. So we recommend you use the booklets alongside phonics instruction. So what I mean by that is, if I'm on phase 1, which is silent E patterns, and it's week 1, and I'm starting with long A, I'm going to first teach the students or my child that this pattern, A space E, makes the A sound. And I'm probably going to show them some of the words like cake, lake, make, and following that phonics implementation guide, which I was talking about earlier. So you want to deliver a lesson that introduces the sound and drills a little bit. And we've got loads of games and activities, which I'll show you a bit later, which can really make learning spelling this way more engaging and appropriate for older learners. You've decided on your sound, you've introduced it, and now you can generate words from our word banks, which you can see more about here at the word lists. You can use different ones, so it doesn't have to be the same every week or whatever your time frame is. And you can also introduce your own custom words. Once you've chosen your words, you can generate a booklet. And what this booklet does is it has a number of activities which help you drill the sound pattern. So really key to phonological awareness, syllables, and spelling. When you are learning to spell, you want to teach your students to identify syllables. So if you have no idea, a really quick introduction, one syllable would only ever consist of one vowel sound. So in this word that I've highlighted, date, the vowel sound is A. Date. Date. Okay? But in a word like mistake, you've got two vowel sounds. You've got the I, the I, and the A. So it's miss-take. Miss-take. And if you get your students to clap while they break things into syllables, it can be super helpful. The rest of the activities are things like unscrambling words, reading books, magazines, newspapers, and finding words with this pattern, word searches, writing sentences with this pattern, and then also rhyming. We have some teacher tips too at the end of each booklet, but what's really nice is we follow the same pattern for each of our sounds, so the students get used to this consistent approach. And you can then just follow the curriculum guide, going through each phase, and making worksheets that are appropriate for the phase that you're on. There is a lot here, and it's something which you would do over a year, but it's never too late to start. Even if you're halfway through the year, it's good to just get your students started and get this repetition and practice in. Another really cool part of our site is the Games and Activities tab. When you're working with all learners and you're trying to teach them to spell, their self-esteem is often quite low, and they really don't like learning spelling. So being able to use a variety of games to engage them and just spice it up a little bit is really helpful. We recommend doing this alongside teaching the sounds and the drilling, and then you would use our booklet generator to give the students to practice independently, whether it's in class or it's at home.